Okay, so multiple people have sent me this video of this guy telling everyone that the world's going to end tomorrow. Maybe. The problem is, this guy doesn't exist. So over the last 36 hours, 24 hours or so, a number of people have tagged me on X. I post things on X and people tag me, hey, have you seen this? Or have left YouTube comments with these videos in them. And these are actual people who are in my audience who have seen these videos and want to know what I think about them. And then I got an email from a friend of mine just a little while ago, and that's what prompted me, okay, let me sit down and write my thoughts on this, about this topic and these videos that people are sending me. And a number of these videos are causing, it seems like a little bit of panic. And I am, trust me, I've told you, this is a time to panic. I mean, we're $38 trillion in debt. We have hundreds of trillions of unfunded liabilities. We are going down the tubes. This is why I've been telling you for years. It's time to prepare. It's time to get a homestead, put some seeds in the ground, learn how to garden. It's not something you can learn overnight. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes experience. It takes successes and failures. You must start now, yesterday. So the whole thing with the run-up of silver lately has caused a lot of people to take notice, a lot more than normal, and because there have been a number of people like myself who've been saying, I told you so, primarily. And so they've been sending me this guy right here who's been doing these, it's AI, it's not a guy, this guy is probably completely fake. It's an AI-generated man, and you can tell the voice is AI-generated because I watch, there's another channel I listen to. It's a story channel of stories back in World War II, and it's the exact same voice doing that channel that's doing this channel in every single case. So it's AI-generated, completely 100%, and basically what this video is doing, it's predicting doom and gloom by either tonight, tomorrow the 26th, or sometime before the year ends. Complete and total economic collapse, calamity, catastrophe, because the banks can't cover the silver shorts, because there's more paper out there than there is physical silver, and the banks are going to collapse like now. And so a lot of people are sending me this video. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And they're leaving comments on my YouTube channel with these videos. And so first off, let me just make a quick point before I get into. I have a number of talking points. I'm going to read to you real quick to give you my thoughts on this. But before, I just want you to look at where some of these sources are from, because they're coming from multiple sources. Let's take a look here. Let me share my screen. So this is one of the videos. It's saying it's over. Banks panic buy at $72, liquidation event. This is coming from a channel called Boring Currency. It's only got 55 videos. It's only been posting videos for the last 2 months. And look how amazing those thumbnails look. Okay, that's not someone with only 2 months of YouTube experience. That's either a bot, that is something that's been generated, that's probably got a team of people who are putting things together for them. Okay, this is polished, but it's only been posting videos for 2 months. And then the other one was this one here too, basically the same message. COMEX Silver Vault lockdown, what just happened on Christmas Eve, and this is again predicting the end by tomorrow the 26th. And this comes from a channel called The Finance Chronicle, which only has 2 videos. Well, it says 3 videos, but I guess there's maybe a short in here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. There's a short. So basically 2 videos, and just started posting. But there's a number of channels that are posting this AI guy with his doom and gloom that's going to happen over the next 24, 36 hours coming in, at least till the end of the year, maybe before January. So let me just read you my thoughts, and then we'll go from there. Okay, first off, most everything this AI is saying is correct when it comes to the scarcity of silver. He's 100% correct. Number 2, it's correct when it comes to there not being enough silver to cover paper contracts. Okay, that's been the case for most of literally probably my life. Okay, I was born in the 1970s. I'm a Gen Xer. That's probably been the case for most of my life. However, and in life, there is always a however. Understand that most silver contracts never allow physical settlement anyway, especially today. Now, back in the day, you had the option. Most people, when you bought a physical silver metals contract or a gold contract, you could ask for settlement, after the contract was finished. You could do that, but most people didn't. Most people let it ride. They'd turn it over into a new contract or a new series of contracts. But today, many people are demanding physical settlement. However, most silver contracts today that are put out online, not all, but many, you're not allowed to. It's in the fine print. You're not allowed to get physical settlement. Why? Because they don't have it.
And it's gone.
They don't have the physical. Okay. The AI video that you're seeing that's being passed around never mentions this. At least I've not seen it in the videos that I've watched. So it would be impossible for the physical demand settlement in most of these cases. Just keep that in mind. Number 4, the shortage of silver is because military industry is sucking it up like never before. And my reasoning is because of the production of military munitions like the Harpoons, Tomahawks, Attackums, HIMARS, Silkworms. If you're in China, they have the Silkworm missiles. And that's because in the previous couple videos I did a few days ago, I showed all of the sources online, a number of sources online, where they actually, yes, there on some of these missiles, there's up to 480 to 500 ounces of silver per missile. And we have a lot of these. These are instrumental to our Blue Water Navy, to our Air Force. When it comes to Sidewinders and all these different Hellfires, they all contain large amounts of silver. You need these for productions because these missiles, when it comes to target acquisition, have to make split-second, nanosecond decisions on where this targeting is supposed to be, what interference might be trying to prevent this target acquisition. And so all of those split-second, nanosecond decisions being made by that missile require silver connections so that information, electronic data can pass instantly through that missile system. I hope that makes sense. Number 5, the price has always been manipulated downward by the COMEX LBMA since the 1950s in order to give the military-industrial complex a cheap source for its munitions. This was probably the main reason the U.S. took silver out of our currency in 1964. We can't have people holding what is instrumental to our military, establishing smart munitions and munitions, even back in the 1950s and 1960s. The munitions, the missile systems that our Blue Water Navy carried, these were missile systems that had to make split-second decisions on target acquisition and other things. So this, in my opinion, was probably the main reason we took it out of our currency in 1964, so that the military had full reign over the silver that was out there. Okay, and then from then on, everyone tried to paint silver as archaic. This is not even. In fact, I got people arguing with me on Twitter now. Why would you buy silver? That's something we don't need anymore. Silver and gold have never been used for trade and barter. I'm like, did you? Yes, it's never been used in trade and barter up until 1964, since 1964. But until then, it's always been used by human history, throughout human history in trade and barter. Okay, number 6. Over the last 2 years, a number of overseas exchanges have come online to directly challenge Western metals prices. Why? Because Western metals prices are fake. They are manipulated. I believe for a purpose. Number 7, China is also sucking up tons of silver for its munitions, and that price is being reflected in exchange markets that deal mostly in physical rather than paper contracts. These are Shanghai, but also India, Hong Kong, Singapore, and more. So what's my conclusion? The world is preparing for war with 2 of the biggest kids on the block putting munitions production in full swing, and that is sucking up a lot of the world's silver where there is already a shortage of physical silver to begin with. In my opinion, this video that's making the rounds on various channels probably originates from the COMEX LBMA establishment. It's predicting an immediate pre-January collapse and catastrophe so that when it doesn't happen, maybe, perhaps it will help to take some of the wind out of the sails of this current run-up. But my friends, the current run-up is not because of the retail market. It's because of the world industrial acquisition of silver that over the last 60 years has been heavily manipulated downwards and has not reflected the inflation that everything else has suffered from. This is not a bull market on silver, ladies and gentlemen. This is a correction market that has been long overdue to bring the metal back to its historical inherent value. Yes, the dollar is collapsing and things will probably get really bad here real soon, but the U.S. financial establishment still has a lot of band-aids that it can use to maintain control for a bit longer. And this is why I am all about preparing. This is why I homestead. Okay, I got into homesteading and back in 2012, moved off grid, But the reality is I've learned a lot since then. I've learned you just can't go and, put up a solar system and think everything's going to work great. You can't just throw seeds in the ground and think everything's going to pop them and you're going to have a whole pantry full of food. That doesn't happen that way. There's going to be successes and failures. And the time to learn is right now. Getting your hands dirty, getting your feet muddy. I always tell people, I know things are growing when I smell the smell of manure on my homestead. I've got poop on my boots, and poop is a great sign that your homestead is growing. If you don't have poop, you don't have animals growing, you don't have animals reproducing, you don't have all kinds of things that are doing the things that they're supposed to be doing in order to feed your family. But the way you do that, the way you get in on that is to do it now, to learn these things, because I believe we're going to come to a point real quick, fast, and in a hurry. In your lifetime and in my lifetime, we are not going to experience the prosperity that our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers had built before us. That time is coming to an end. And it doesn't take a genius to predict this. And there'll always be people in my comment section who are going to, oh, you're just a doomer and gloomer. You can't prepare. You don't have enough guns to stop all the people from taking everything from you anyway. They're always like, you don't have enough, you're going to run out of bullets one day. Let me tell you how that's going to go.
It's a 12-gauge pump, boys. It's only got 3 shots. You can't get us all.
Well, now we know he can add and he can subtract, so who wants to be next here?
Yes, my friends. Maybe I die at the OK Corral. Maybe perhaps that happens. But I'm going to, historically, being a student of history, I'm going to prepare myself and my family the best way that history says you survive when these things happen, because they have happened over and over again. And living in the city is not usually the way to make it. That's not how, that's like jumping into the deep end of the swimming pool with weights on your ankles and not knowing how to swim. Because you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. So now's the time. I told people before, long and often on my channel, growing a garden is like printing your own money. Raising animals is like printing your own money. If you put money in all kinds of other nonsense that is going to prove itself frivolous when your country is $38 trillion in debt and has hundreds of trillions of unfunded liabilities and doesn't know what money is anymore because they have forgotten the lessons of history, Fine. Call me a doomer and gloomer. I don't care. I've got seeds to plant. What's my? I got some sweet corn seeds I saved from last year. That's going in the ground this year because I'm a doomer and gloomer. And I like corn. Okay, what do you think about that? Leave a comment below. So someone asked me the other day, because you notice I don't do ads in the middle of my videos, okay? There's no YouTube ads that interrupt you, because I find that highly annoying when I watch other videos and YouTube does that to me, or those channels do that to me, so I don't do it to you. What I will do is I'll answer certain questions when it comes to things that help promote my channel and help keep me going in other ways, and that is, so let me give you an example. Someone asked me the other day, says, why don't you ever promote those probiotics, or those, antibiotic kits that I see on other channels? Do you have a link for that? I'd really like to buy one of those kits. No, I don't promote those antibiotic kits because I make my own probiotics. Perfectpickler.com. Make your own probiotics from home. The way great grandma used to do. The people who knew how to do stuff and their supply chain was local. Those people. Probiotics. I get the majority of my medicines from things out there in my homestead, in my garden, in my yard. This book full of color photos on all the medicines that people used over 100 years ago. I have used many of these on my children and on myself successfully, and I'm well versed in making tinctures out of all these. This book that I give to all my patrons, it doesn't tell you how to make tinctures. It tells you what to do with them. This is my medicine cabinet. And if you want a copy of it, you can go to patreon.com/American Homestead. There's a link in my description below. And you can download it for yourself for as little as $1. $1. Yes, you can you can pay more if you want to support the channel. I really appreciate that. Those people out there are fantastic. And I do special giveaways for our awards for those people. But If you want to learn how to make your own medicine like people have always done, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Why? Because the medicine is tincture. It's been made with vodka and it tastes horrible. That's why. Because that's what used to work. It still works. You know, if you bought these books on Amazon right now, you'd be paying sometimes, I think the last time I checked was like $400 for one, which is this one here. Or maybe this one was $900 and the other one was $400. I'll put it on the screen so you can see over on Amazon. You're going to pay over $1,000 for both those books, easy, but I give them to you for $1. Why are they so expensive? Because they're valuable information that is contained within. Do not wait on this. You know, it's one thing to stock beans, bullets, and Band-Aids, but how are you on tinctures? You don't need expensive antibiotic packs that once you use them, they're gone. You can learn about tinctures, and so when something happens, when an infection happens, you can treat it with plants. Oh, amazing. Plants. Link in the description below. Check it out. For $1. I'm basically giving it away. I am giving it away. The only reason I'm charging $1 is because I have server rack space I got to pay for. $1. I'm giving it to you. Giving it to you. All right. What do you think about them apples? Write it down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Love you. See you next time on the Homestead. Bye! One of the best perks about living off-grid is that I never pay an electric bill. I love being my own power company, but that means when things go wrong, I have to be the one on call. So I try and use reliable components for my power production. For the last couple of years, I have been promoting OUPES solar generators. I've been using them and abusing them, and as it turns out, they are pretty good products. They have power generators for all occasions, and they can be charged by permanent or portable solar panels, as well as AC power. They offer true lithium iron phosphate batteries, and this is important. Recently, a family in my area had a different brand that uses the less stable nickel manganese cobalt or NMC type batteries. The unit caught fire in the middle of the night. It was a scary situation and it caused damage to the home, but thankfully nobody was hurt. The generator, as you can see, was a total loss. This drives home the point on why it's so important to employ solar generators like the OUPES brand that uses the much more safe and stable technology of lithium iron phosphate, otherwise called LiFePO4. They offer small generators for travel or for powering an entire home and everything in between. These are great backups to have in a medical emergency or to power a freezer full of your favorite meat products, or as I have shown in past videos, for even backup AC and DC power sources for ham radio communications. If the grid goes down, you're going to be thankful you have one of these units. You can find the link in the description of this video or click on the banner ad found on the front page of our website at AmericanHomestead.com. Right here, that banner ad right there on AmericanHomestead.com. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.